Hello, lovelies. I hope you're all doing well. Today, as you can tell from the box, I have a new pen unboxing from Esterbrook. And this is a pen that I have been wanting for quite some time now. I remember looking at it around the holidays last year and almost pulling the trigger on buying one of these during my birthday month. But I don't know why I've been so hesitant on buying this pen, but I finally decided to just do it. I've been looking at this pen over and over, specifically this beautiful sea glass color. As you guys know, I am from Cape May, and everything here has to do with the sea and beaches, and I am just gravitated towards pens that have that sea glass color to it. So when I saw this pen, I thought this one is so perfect. A lot of people get the honeycomb version, which is a gorgeous color too, but this sea glass one, look at the depth and the layers. I know this isn't a celluloid, but it kind of reminds me of that platinum celluloid that I have, how it has that layered effect to it, and it's so beautiful. It almost looks like the waves crashing ashore with that blend of white and seafoam blue. Oh, I love it. So I was looking into the cap to see that little springy mechanism, which is a really cool feature. I have a sort of similar feature in the Platinum Century pens that I have, and I really love it. It keeps your pens just ready to go no matter how long they sit. I feel like this pen looks so much better in person than I could ever capture on video or on camera. I think I was hesitant on purchasing this pen because it's not a gold nib, and I feel like the price is kind of high for it not being a special material of some kind. I don't know. It is a beautiful pen, so I guess I want to see what the hype is about, if the nib is super smooth. I've heard a lot of good things about the Yovo nibs. So I'm expecting this to be like butter. I hope it's like butter. And maybe my next Estie, if I do like this one, will be one of their gold nib Esties. For this pen, I am not sure which ink I want to use in here. I have Sailor Manyo Haha and one of my absolute favorite inks, this Yoseka Ceramics. And it's more of a soft green color, which I really like. So I think I'm going to use this one. It's a drier ink in my opinion, but it is so beautiful. So if the Estie can handle this drier ink, then I know it'll be super juicy with any of the Sailor or Pilot Iroshizuku inks. As always, I forever struggle with inking up my pens. I eventually get the hang of it after a few twists. And even looking at the bottle of the ink, it kind of looks like sea glass already. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be the color that just lives in this pen. I want to make sure that I tighten this up pretty well because I'm a klutz and I will spill this whole bottle and cry because I really love this ink. I really like the length of this pen. It's a big pen in my opinion. It kind of reminds me of my baby, the Pilot Custom 823, in terms of length and the width of the barrel. It feels very similar. I really like the way this pen feels in hand. I feel like I could write with this uncapped, but knowing me, I'll probably write with it capped anyway. It's a very lightweight pen. It's not heavy at all, which I prefer my pens to have a heavier feel, but I think the size of this pen makes it feel good in my hands. Before I do a writing test on this pen, I want to see what's inside this little tiny envelope. This is the cutest little thing. Okay, I guess it's just an activation. Maybe it's a registration for your pen. I don't know. I will scan that later. But for now, I really love how cute the little aesthetics of this tiny little envelope with its logo and everything. Okay, so here's the moment of truth. This paper is MD cotton paper, I believe, which has a slightly rougher texture. And so far, this nib is so beautiful to write with. So this pen's color is sea glass, and I got it in a fine nib. I wasn't sure if it was going to be fine enough for my liking. I kind of like to go towards the Japanese fine to medium, and I was hoping I would get that with the Estie, and so far it's really close to what I like. It's like a hair thicker, but it's barely noticeable with this drier ink. I'm curious to see if a wetter ink will give me a broader line in this pen. So far there are no line variations. Everything is consistent and it feels so nice to write with. I want to try it out on Tomoe River paper, and this paper is so smooth. I'm going to do some random poem that I found online just to see how it writes. And I feel like this is going to be the real test because I know I'm going to be using this pen mostly in my Hobonichi cousin. So let's see how this writes. And oof, this pen is buttery smooth. I am very impressed. Like I said, I've heard many good things about this specific nib. A lot of people do love this steel nib, so I had some pretty high expectations. Between my friends that I've asked about Esties, some of them really love their Esties and others don't, so that's another reason why I was a little nervous. So I was hoping that I would be lucky and have a positive experience with Esterbrook. I want to quickly compare this pen to the only pen that I have that is similar in size, and I just want to compare the sizing, like the nib size and the overall pen size. And of course that's going to be my Pilot Custom 823. It has the same cigar shape and almost the same length. As you can see here, the Estie is just like a tiny bit longer capped. And if you look at the nib, it is also pretty much the same size. The Pilot is a gold nib, and it is by far my most favorite pen because of how deliciously smooth this thing is. And I feel like this steel nib from Estie is pretty close. I feel like this is the smoothest steel nib I've ever had. It's not as smooth as my Pilot Custom, but it's up there on one of my smoothest pens. I'm really picky about my nibs and specifically how a pen feels in my hand, and I don't know, but I feel like this is gonna be one of my favorite pens. It's not going to be my top favorite because I feel like so far nothing beats the Pilot Custom for me, and the platinum shape of the heart is super smooth too. So I don't know, only time will tell. I will be trying this pen with other inks, specifically a Pilot Iroshizuku ink. I feel like an Iroshizuku ink will probably make this pen feel like I'm writing on ice. So far, I have zero buying regrets. I still feel like it's a little pricey for a steel nib pen, but it is very beautiful to look at, and I don't know, time will tell how this nib lasts and if it continues being this beautiful writer. I hope you enjoyed this little first impressions on a pen I've been wanting for quite a while now. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.